Good morning, and welcome once again to our business community discussions that we do right here on the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page and also on the Alpha Media YouTube channel. This is an interactive discussion, so if you do have comments or questions that you'd like to post, just do it right there on your social media platform of choice. You can make comments in YouTube, you can make comments on Facebook, and those can become part of the show. So feel free to absolutely join in. We've got a great discussion coming up today. We're going to be talking. Oh, I've got an echo. Hold on, let me fix that. We're going to be talking with Linda Klein from Webster County, Iowa State University Extension and Outreach. She's the program coordinator and Prosper Team co-leader. We'll get all the details on some of the programs that are coming up. But first, let's introduce our usual suspects as usual contributors here. We have Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market Plus Digital. Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning. So I'm a suspect today.
That's right. Wow. The usual suspects.
Wow, I can't wait. Yeah, we got a lot of good information and coming up. So encourage you to ask questions, guys, because I know Linda will be happy to answer you as well as the rest of the team on here.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's bring on Darcy Swan with North Central Iowa's SPDC. Good morning, Darcy.
Good morning. How are you guys?
Very, very good.
Good.
And we've also got Chris Patrick from Main Street Fort Dodge. Good morning, Chris. Good to have you again.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone.
Yeah, so today's a great show, and Linda is not a first-time guest, so she's used to our situation here and knows exactly kind of how this program goes. So let's bring on Linda. Linda, good morning. We're excited to have you back.
Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day for the corn and the soybeans to grow out there, Jed.
It is a beautiful day for that. And so, yeah, we're looking forward to all it is that you have to share with us today. So let's kind of get into it. One of the main things that we're talking about today is the Master Conservationist Program. Let's talk about what that is.
Right, and that might look kind of wordy there on that document there, but they can go to my website and find out information. This is a program that we did 2 years ago and had about 15 participants from a 4-county area. And we want to start next week. I need about 2 or 3 more great bodies who want to go to Pocahontas County, Webster County, Hamilton County, and up in Humboldt to see some new parks they've never seen. Here's some conservation people and naturalists. Like next week, we would start out at Camp Anoki. I had never been to Camp Anoki until 2 years ago, and they have done so many improvements out there, you guys, that it is a beautiful lodge. It is a beautiful walking area. Karen Hansen and Aaron, they have done a great job with those walkways and having things out there. And Matt Cosgrove would be talking to us that next week we go to Bell's Mills down in Hamilton County. I've never been to that park, and Darcy's shaking her head that, it's like a really fantastic place to go to. And she's probably been there, and so we get to go to Brushy Creek. Last time we got to see how different plots where they take seeds from and they package seeds. So the naturalist from down there talks to us, or even, it's 7-week time, but those 7 weeks go by really, really fast. So even having Billy Beck, the forester from Iowa State, coming to talk to us about some forestry issues. He's going to Joe Sheldon Park up in Humboldt County, and we get to go Lizard Lake in Gilmore City, and then Smelter Farm. If you've never been to the Smelter Farm, just east here of Fort Dodge, they work really hard. That's a good teaching environment, has a little building on it. You get to learn about some conservation practices that they're doing with the land, the farmers doing. And then we put it all together. How can the public take what they've learned and use it in their daily life? It's kind of like a flipped classroom, Jed, where they're learning from some online resources, and then we do hands-on stuff or go walking around at all these other places.
Yeah. So what are some of the concepts that folks might, expect to learn during some of these classes? I mean, I see a lot of them talk about understanding Iowa's ecosystems. But what exactly does that mean? Can you dive into that just a little deeper about some of the things folks might be learning?
Well, and, just understanding about conservation or the land, water, just learning about the history about conservation and discussing our land and water. I mean, I think we have so much history that it's just fun to see how it's all evolved and the ecological, what's in those rivers and what's in those creeks, what's it take to be an oxbow. I never knew what an oxbow was till I went to Smeltzer Farm last time, and Karen Hansen showed us what that was, or seeing the prairies down there at Brushy Creek, and the woody and the exotic plants that we get to see, and the plant communities. And that there's when you're walking around in the forest, there's little baby plants under there that you don't pay attention to, but after you learn about it a little bit, you're paying more attention and you're looking and seeing what's going on. So and even the aquatic environment, they'll show us what's in the creek, or why the lakes are the way they are. So it's just, I learn a lot every time I do something like that, Jed.
Yeah, so this is the second time that you've done this. I'm sure that you had a lot of folks who took it the first time around saying what a great experience that they had. Can you share what some of their feedback was on maybe the first time you did it? And, have there been changes since you did it the first time, or is it going so well that you're going to keep it roughly the same?
Well, this is kind of like a state program. And so when the new state director, Adam Jakey, came on, and with Ag and Natural Resources down there at Iowa State, he came on, he kind of did the flipped classroom. So they all look the same throughout the whole state. And he'll be there the first day sharing about what it is. But the good testament, Jed, is that I have a participant who came 2 years ago. She's going to attend again because she had so much fun, or there was so much knowledge, or we're going to different places. And so, not only, like I said, the guys see the oxbows, or, we had some farm management specialists come, and they got to, help it reinforce what those farmers really are doing to making sure that the land is preserved. We don't want that wind to take away the soil, because that's precious soil. And so what are those farmers doing with cover crops, and how are the lakes and the waters, what are those naturalists doing to that system now? So everybody liked it. And I just think the great testament is that one person is coming back again for a second time.
Yeah, so talk to us a little bit about what it takes to be involved. Obviously, you need to be able to commit to these 7 different days, but who's eligible to come to this?
Anybody who can walk, so that you have to, my knee is about getting to the point where I can't, it's kind of hard to walk around so much, but if you have your walking stick, you can walk around and enjoy nature. I think we are so tired, Jed, of being cooped up inside, that we are wanting to be outside and see nature stuff. So how fun it would be to come to a program like this. So, it would be an adult, maybe somebody even who's going to college and wants to be a naturalist, or, go into that kind of program. Maybe it's a teacher who is teaching biology at the high school or whatever. And so we are getting down to the last couple of days here, where I need a few more bodies in order to have the program go. So you just go onto our website and you can enroll and pay right there. And I'm even going to give you a meal for 2 of the weeks. So that's a pretty good deal to have. Let's see, Harley is going to cook for us for the first week from Feed Shed out of Moreland. So you can't beat that, right? I mean, or one of your first times to come. So
Excellent. So when people go on, they just go to the website, they can register right there, it sounds like, and pay the fees. What's the cost for the program?
So the cost is $125, and we think they are getting lots and lots of resources. They have access to resources and links for a very, very long time. So, and then the hands-on information they're going to get. So we kept that price as it was 2 years ago, and for those 7 weeks, we think you're getting a good deal for that. So
very good. I think a very reasonable price for all that somebody's getting out of an entire 7-week program. So very, very nice.
Jed, maybe you should come on that, and got to bring your bug spray and your lawn chair. So when you're sitting there and stuff, and sometimes we got rained on 2 years ago, but right now, it's kind of dry out there. So, but maybe that'll make it rain again, right?
Yeah, no problem. And I've never melted in the rain.
There you go. So that would be good.
Well, you've got some other programs that are coming up as well, so let's kind of share some of those as well, because it's not just the one-off master's conservation program that you guys have going on. You have some other classes coming up as well.
Right. So Extension has been busy during these COVID times. We keep on going and offering, maybe the programs are face-to-face or maybe they are virtual. I did a lot of stuff face-to-face this winter. And so Holly Van Hill is doing the Preserve the Taste of Summer. What did everybody do last year, Jed, last spring? We all heard that tomatoes and peppers and all the gardening stuff were flying off the shelves, and you couldn't even buy tomatoes,
Yeah.
during the season and whatever. So what do all those new gardeners do with the tomatoes? Well, they have to figure out how to make salsa, or maybe they're going to want to can them, and maybe, well, grandma canned them, so I can figure that out, right? Well, acidity might be a little bit different, and canning is a little bit different. So they continue to do that, Preserve the Taste of Summer all the time with, I think there's another session on May 18th there, and it's just a free 1 hour. You jump on Zoom and Holly Van Hill teaches that, and there might be at 10 a.m. in the morning and one at 6:30, and then sometimes they have some jam making ones and salsa making ones, and they'll have those more dates coming on in the summertime too. And people even have a pressure canner that they might need that lid tested. So we do that service here at our extension office too for $5. So
Oh, that's great. So, I mean, I think of a class like this as being just so valuable, because especially for folks who may be new to gardening or new to attempting some of these things, I just know so many people who are afraid to try. And of course, they go to botulism right out of the gate, and they think, I don't want to do it because botulism, right? So having a class like this that teaches you how to do it right and safe, what a great opportunity.
and it's free. And if they want to dive deeper into it, some county offices are having like 2 and 3 hour workshops later on with the produce and whatever. They'll schedule those kind of workshops, but just a beginning course, and they'll have them all summer that we'll start advertising. So yeah. So then that question, persuade, and refer, we know, Jed, that our mental health, by being on the Zoom meetings, by being cooped up with COVID, everybody's mental health has been fragile and stuff. And so these are some workshops that have been going on virtually all year long too. And these are kind of for the ministerial type people, but even we've had some for the teachers and youth providers and whatever. And so it's just a quick 1 hour session where they talk about if you're worried about somebody and their mental health, what are the signs and what could you do to offer some help to those people. And it doesn't get in depth, but at least a real quick generality. And if you want to take an 8 hour mental health first aid class, there's a lot of places that teach that. Iowa State does too. CFR does here in town. So, I mean, there's a lot of places, but we're all concerned about our mental health and helping out with that. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I think, COVID has certainly been something that has maybe brought some of those problems to the forefront. Folks who, maybe we rely more on seeing each other and just the social connections that we have day to day. It's been really difficult for a lot of people who have found themselves cooped up for, pretty much the entire last year.
Right. And so Iowa State has some services to help, or that Iowa Concern hotline number is a fantastic number there, Jed. We've been having that number way since the 1980s, started out as a farm crisis number, but anybody can use that number now. I mean, if you have a stress issue, if you have a problem, financial concern, or legal education, they have lawyers on there you can talk to. It's just a good number to talk to. So free, can't beat that.
Yeah, it's great to have those opportunities to, really reach out when people are in need. So let's talk about some of the other things that you guys might have going on at the extension, because I know that there's always so many things. There's always so many classes being offered, and obviously we can't talk about all of them. But if somebody wants more information about some of the things that you guys are doing, how would they get a hold of that?
They can call us at the extension office at 576-2119, or go to our website at www.extension.iastate.edu. And there's lots of different, virtual classes they can take and look at, and that anybody can jump on, from our financial information to Holly's preserve information and the 4-H information too. Lindsay Kavanaugh has been doing a great job. She had a book, where she collected books for families and whatever. And we had over 2,000 books in here, Jed, that had to find homes in afterwards that people had donated during that April event. So that was really, really fun. And there'll be some camps going on, and everybody is looking forward to fair. The fair got canceled last year because of COVID. And so our Webster County Fair will be on July 14th through the 18th, that Wednesday to Sunday. And so the Fair Board is excited about their new additions that they're working on, and the livestock people and the static kids. So, I mean, everybody's just ready to have it happen this year.
Yeah, we're definitely ready to get back to having the fair and all the things that are fun and go along with that. So very, very good. Linda, thanks so much for joining us today and sharing the update with University Extension and all the things and programs that you have going on. We thank you so much for joining us.
Well, we thank you, sir. Have a good day.
Thanks. And feel free to, stay on if you want, but if you have to run and pop off of here, we certainly understand that too. Okay.
All right.
Well, thank you very much. I'm going to bring Darcy back on. She had to hop off there for just a minute, or maybe technology got her. I don't know. It could be either one.
Well, thanks for bringing me back on.
Well, let's, Cheryl, if you don't mind, let's talk a little bit about some of the things that you and I have been talking about over the last few days and weeks, because there are some changes coming to some of the things that our folks may be utilizing out there when it comes to the internet, some of the advertising options that people have been using with both Google and Facebook. So let's talk about some of the things that are going to be coming as far as changes when it comes to that.
Well, Google has some big changes coming up, and they've let everybody know about this well over a year. It's going to start next year, but it's in regards to cookies, and it's internet privacy is what it is. And like it says here, these are policies on what users' information can be collected and shared. And this includes the identifiers and the cookies. And that is basically how everything has been managed for all this time. Is you've always seen the little information when you hop on a website. It says verify that you are going to allow us to use cookies or whatever on there. And a lot of people don't know what it means. They just click it and okay, well, it's a cookie, whatever. But a cookie is a way, it contains a message or a packet of information about the user. So it's about you, and that information is then transmitted back to the company that you were looking at. And they use that information to expand their marketing, to expand their products and services. I mean, it's a lot of things. If they see people are looking for a certain product out there, that might be something that they develop. All of that information comes out. And it's been a standard for all these years. Well, Google has decided that they're not going to allow that anymore. And so that's going to mean that there's going to be changes for you as a business owner on your website, on any way that you're doing, any kind of marketing you're doing at all, because they're going from third party to first party.
That's right.
And as far as collecting the data. So what that means is that the data that they're going to allow you to collect has to be somebody that's serious about your business. And, what is data? This is a perfect example. It's geographic. It's your location. It's demographic. It's, talking about your age, your race, what is your background, things that you do, all of that thing. Yeah, that really shows it much better. And your interests, your lifestyles, your opinions, your behaviors, what do you do? Where do you go? All that information is what has been collected over the years. And as a third party, they were able to take that information and then reach out to new people. Well, as a first party, they're not going to be able to do that anymore. Basically, it's going to be, you're going to have to like that business. You're going to have to like that information in order for you to get it. And it went from, it's down to only 7 days. So if they send some information out to you and you do not respond, you drop off their data in 7 days. And that's not very much time.
No, it's not very much time. I mean, just to kind of maybe even simplify this,
It's a lot of stuff to learn. It really is.
I mean, anybody who has been online and purchased anything from Amazon ever in your whole life, you've experienced these cookies, right? So you go online and you maybe buy something from Amazon, or maybe even you don't. Maybe you're just looking at items from Amazon. And then you go around the internet, and it seems like everywhere you go, that item or something similar is just following you around. On every site you go to, it follows you over to social media. It follows you to ESPN. Wherever you happen to go, that is following you. Welcome to the world of cookies, right? That's exactly what we're talking about here, is just the ability for businesses to follow you around. And so we have first-party data, we have third-party data. And first-party data is really something that the business itself has to develop on its own, right? So if it's first-party data, I have to have gathered that information in some way all on my own. Third-party data would be data that maybe comes from another source that I've purchased along the way or gotten access to from other sources. So hopefully that helps just kind of break down some of the details on what that is. So yeah, first party, second party, third party data, where does it come from, right?
Yeah, exactly. And so on a first party, some of the ways that you can do that is, of course, by reviews. That's an excellent way of getting reviews, and that would be a first party. If you have email and they go in and subscribe to your stuff, that would be a first party. Those would be a couple examples of how you can gain that. So a lot of businesses haven't used email effectively. They don't have a good CRM program or whatever. That could be an issue. A lot of them don't ask for the reviews. I know that's one of the things I'm always harping on my clients about: reviews out there, because that's another way to do it. Some other suggestions that you would have, if Jed, for them to be a first part to get more first party.
Yeah, a newsletter is a great way to get data. If you just simply create a newsletter, ask people to sign up for it, it's a great way to get that email address. Obviously, asking for it is a great way to get that email address. But basically, it's ways that you can interact with your current customer. I love getting the email as the gateway, because once I have that email, then I can begin to ask questions about the demographics, about the psychographics, about the geolocation sorts of things. Through surveys, right? Just simple surveys of people who have visited your business. Those are great ways to get some access to some of that data, because building your own database is going to be more important than it's ever been.
Right. And I think that you brought up some great points with that. So the businesses are going to have to think about it a little bit different than just going out and posting something and that type of thing. You're going to have to have a plan. And you have to be a little bit more organized on what you're going to do and get information out. That doesn't mean that it's going to be a daunting task. It just means that you're going to have to regroup and think things through a little bit differently, and really go after, if somebody comes into your business and you ask them to sign up, or you get their phone number or anything like that, that's another way that's a great way to collect it and to keep getting them that information going forward. So you're really going to have to think about all the ways that you can get that first information in order to expand your base of getting your products, services, or whatever it may be out when you're marketing to them.
Yeah, if you're a service product and you're appointment based, gosh, get that phone number and start utilizing that phone number to use text messaging to confirm appointments. Your folks will like that. That's first off. They will like getting that text message of confirmation of a pending appointment. But then secondly, a simple checkbox. Hey, can we contact you for other marketing events? We'll give you access to that phone number. And that is sort of the pinnacle, is the phone number. for access to a lot of different marketing things. So
right, that's it. You really nailed it. Those are the two things that I tell clients, the best things that you can do: get their phone number, their cell phone, and their email, because those are the two things that usually do not change. They'll change their address, they'll change everything else, but they very rarely will change their cell phone number, and they very rarely will change their email. And if you're doing things properly, you'll have an unsubscribe or a delete there. And so if they don't want your information, or if they get tired of it, they can delete it off. But you got to ask for it first and get it. And then it's up to them to decide if they don't want it anymore.
Yeah, and it is important to have that unsubscribe. You can run into issues with spamming laws and things like that if you're just out there sending things out. So, I mean, it is worth understanding a little bit about the regulations of just sending out those emails and sending out those text messages when you get the information, but not super difficult. The main thing is that you have to be respectful of the person, one, knowing that they're signing up for it, and then two, having a way to decline it in the future if they no longer want it. So those are the main things that come along with it. And so, yeah, I would say those are the two things: phone numbers, emails, and just make sure that we have a way to get those. And then how are you going to utilize them, right? Because once you have them, there are so many ways that you can utilize those things. And once it's first party data, you own it, right? It's your data that you've collected about people who have interacted with you. Another great way is contesting. We utilize a number of different contests here where people will sign up online. They do it via their websites. They do it via social media. They do it via third party, our website. And then we ask on their behalf if we can collect the data. And people sign up to win. And you would be surprised that most of the time, if it's a business that they enjoy, they say, sure, yes, please share future offers with me. I definitely want to hear about those things, because it's already a business that they enjoy. Right. And so most of the time you can get those through there. So contesting, another great way to get some of that information.
Right. And check your data once it comes back in again as well. And so what you're also going to find on the positive side, because it's going to be first party, you're probably going to see an increase in sales and actual communication with that group, because they really are interested in you, versus always a third party where you're just out there fishing around. And I shouldn't have said that word, out there looking for some new clients out there, that your percentage of people that are going to be interested is going to drop. But if you're on a first party basis, they've already committed to you in some way and agreed to get your information and agreed to hear about what you've got going on. So you probably will see a higher percentage of closing sales, that type of thing as well.
Yeah. So let's talk about some of the action items that you may want to be consider starting now, right? You want to be out in front of this and have your action plan ready to go before all these things take place. So one is what we've been talking about: generate the first party data. But then we also mentioned focusing on users and not platforms. What do you mean by that, Cheryl?
Well, the platform would be, if you're using Facebook or something like that, that would be your platform. Okay. So you want to focus on the ones that are using your platform, not going out and getting that third party. So again, if you're using your Facebook and you want to send out a survey, or you have something coming up, that type of thing, you want to go to the users that are actually going to your Facebook page and reach out to them. So everybody's been more platform focused in the past and thinking about, okay, what platform am I going to use to market to, and that type of thing. Now you're going to have to think more as to, okay, this is the platform I have. Am I getting enough users off of that platform in order to market to them, basically?
Right. And it also, it flows into the next piece, right? So focus on omni-channel. And I think what we mean by that is just that, where in the past, maybe you've said, well, I'm on Facebook, or I'm on TikTok, whatever it happens to be, right? Wherever you're reaching your consumers, that's sort of been your game plan. The idea here is that we switch our focus and we start building an audience, and we say, this is our group of people that we're trying to reach. And we don't care what platform they're using. They might be using, a Google platform. They might be using 2 or 3 forms of social media. Rather than worrying about which social media they're on or which platform we're reaching them on, let's reach them on all of the channels that they happen to use. And so that's the idea of an omni-channel campaign. That has been Alpha Media's focus for the last year is let's not do one single channel. We want to have as many channels as possible because we build our audience and then we reach them wherever they happen to be. Really, the old style is we market in platforms, we market on radio, we market on TV, we might be a billboard user, whatever that happens to be. Today, it is an omni-channel approach, and most of your marketers are going to be speaking in these terms of let's build an audience and then reach them wherever they happen to be.
Right. And then once you start getting your data, you may change that a little bit. You know, if one of the platforms is totally worthless and not helping you, you may pull back off of that. But again, watching your data, watching your information and finding out what you're doing and thinking outside of just the normal channels, what are the other options out there, and really looking at that info. You may have to do some research initially on that as well to see if the demographic of your group would be in that area.
Yeah. I mean, this goes a little bit into something that I've always sort of preached, and that's what do you want people to do, right? What are you asking them to do? What is your conversion? What is our hope that they do when we reach out to them? And that could be with a survey, that could be with whatever contact we're making. We need the end goal in mind, right? So with this contact, are we hoping that they go to our website? Great. Are we hoping that they go to our website and make a purchase? Are we hoping that they go to our website, make a purchase, and leave a review? These are all trackable items, and we need to know ahead of time what we're hoping that they do as they get there. And that allows us to set these reviewable things in place. Cheryl and I would talk about things like setting up conversions, right? So that we would know what happens when they get there. We can't set those up if we don't know in advance what we're hoping that they do. And so just another piece of that puzzle as we talk about setting things up for review, getting that data, and having sort of a best practices. Let's always review and know ahead of time what we're hoping that those customers might want to do at the end of the discussion.
Right. And you got a really good point. A lot of clients will say, well, nobody's buying from me yet. I'm paying all this stuff out there. Well, first of all, you got to get them to know that you even exist. So you got to get your brand first before you can get the clicks or the ka-ching to come through.
The ka-ching, I like it. All right. Well, Facebook has also said, hey, we're going to be doing some new things as well. So let's go through some of those real quick.
Well, this one is in regards to your pixels and your conversion API. And so now they're asking you that each domain that you're using with a pixel, that you have it verified. So there's some steps that you need to do in order to take care of that. And it is pretty straightforward. There's certain links that you can go to do that, but you need to go in and verify it by Facebook. You can't just use what you had set up before as a pixel. You got to verify it first. And that's going to make a difference on your events and tracking that. And
again, putting this in place in real time, kind of the way we've used pixels in the past is, let's say that I have a concert event coming up on my website. I might put a Facebook tracking pixel, which would allow me then to target those individuals who came to my website on Facebook. That's sort of the idea behind the Facebook tracking pixel.
Right. And that would be first party again for you, so that you'd be able to use it on any of the other stuff that you're doing. So again, it's basically getting yourself first party instead of third party.
Yep. And so the idea there is, just make sure that it's verified and work through that with Facebook. Again, just making sure that they're as tight as they can be on security and privacy. That's what they're trying to do with that.
And we've heard all that information coming over, and they are giving you enough notice that it's happening. So Facebook is going to happen really quick. I think at the end of this month, actually, they're going to start phasing that part in, I believe. So also, they're doing some redesign work. So you'll be seeing some changes on that. And that's something, so don't freak out when you see something different coming across on that information. They're also because TikTok has been very popular, they're going to try to do their own thing. And so you're going to see what they call collab, which is their version of TikTok. It's currently in the beta area right now. So it is being tested and checked out to see, how it's going to work. But if it works, I guarantee you Facebook will be pounding on your door via your email and your social media to get you to their new TikTok-like app.
There you go.
Well, this one's really interesting. And if many of you, you've heard me over the years that you can't have more than 20% text on an image. Otherwise, you do not get as much engagement off of it because they just don't push it out there. Well, they've changed that and they're no longer penalizing you. I would still say on there, don't on your image have a whole bunch of text on it because it's too hard to read. So, have the predominant things on that image and have the rest of it in your text part of your Facebook ad out there, or link it to something that has a lot more information on there and learn more.
Yeah, and we've run into this as well, running Facebook ads, and it's best practices certainly to keep as little amount of text in there as possible. I think of it a lot like a billboard. I've always said that if you can keep your billboard ads to 6 words or less, that's usually best. And the reason for that is, as you can imagine, you're driving down the highway at 65 miles an hour. Some people I hear even go faster than that. And you're whizzing by those billboards pretty fast. 6 words is about what you would expect to get in on a billboard. Well, imagine how fast my daughter scrolls through Facebook. I mean, it's a miracle that her index finger isn't the strongest digit on her hand, because she's scrolling so quickly through those memes in a lot of cases. But so the idea there is to slow it down and to be able to be seen. Fewer words is certainly better. It helps you get your message across. But there have been times when we certainly want to have a little bit more than 20% of text in the ad, and it's hurt us in the past. And so great to see those regulations be lifted just a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good one for us there. So hashtags, you may have seen this when you're doing a Facebook post. Suggested hashtags will come up instead of what you're doing. And again, sometimes I see these hashtags and I'm thinking, do you guys really, are you really paying attention to that on it? Because they'll have some really strange hashtag that doesn't even have anybody following it on theirs. But this one on the Facebook will help you to better understand what might be the best use for the listings out there. So it could be a good way to broaden your conversation and get that information out. But don't have a whole lot of hashtags, but have ones that are really getting to the group that you're looking for or the market that you're going to. According to social media, okay, they say 3 billion people are using Facebook's platforms, and that includes Messenger, Instagram, and WhatsApp. So they're changing on how they're announcing that in the late last year, certain partners that can now claim ownership over these images. So you need to make sure that your image is not something that would be oh shoot, I can't think of the word.
Well, like copywritten stuff is kind of
copywritten. Exactly. That's what I couldn't get that out there. So yeah, copywritten on there. So, that's really important. Actually, we had a client call us from Georgia and was really freaking out because somebody had told him that they were using their copyrighted photos on all their stuff, and he didn't know what to do. And of course, this was he had bought the business, and this was a website from somebody else and on their social media. So we had to hurry up and go in and clean everything out and make sure that it was not copyright photos on there.
Yeah, so this has actually been an issue for a long time. And I think Facebook and Instagram is finally coming around to assist the folks who have ownership in those products. In my industry, in radio, this has been something where radio stations have been sued all across the country over and over and over again for use of copywritten material on websites and social media. The biggest example of this would be artists, musical artists that are used by radio stations. And, some paparazzi may own the rights to that image, and they will absolutely sue you if you are using that image and shouldn't be. So, folks have done things like pull images off of, magazine articles, or pull images off of a magazine's Facebook page. You don't own that. The photographer owns that, and the usage rights were probably purchased by the magazine and things like that. And there are ways to sort of search the internet for those pictures that you own copyrights to. And there are absolutely people who, lawyers who make a living simply searching the internet and issuing lawsuits over and over again for images that you don't own. So I'm going to go back to the word first party. So first party images, ones that you've created on your own, taken on your own, created on your own through Photoshop or whatever other imaging software you own, those are by far the best usages that you can have. Or make sure that it's something that you've paid for. And I hate to be the guy that's out here saying, cover your butt when it comes to these. I'm just saying there's folks out there who, are just looking for somebody to sue, and you don't want to be the person that they find. Exactly.
And I always have told our clients as well, really, your own photos are better than any of the other ones anyway.
Right.
So that sometimes, it feels like a daunting task for our clients saying, oh, now I have to take photos and stuff. You don't have to have a whole lot of photos. Just have your own stuff, and you got your phone. You can do that anytime. So it's not that as big a deal, but you're exactly right. There's people out there looking for you as a business to not be paying attention and to have something like that. And they will come after you.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's talk quickly about the Facebook Business Suite. This is just another opportunity for you to have more control and more data about what's coming in about your business. A lot of us have been using Facebook Pages for a while now. The Business Suite is kind of an upgrade to that.
Yeah, exactly. And so you need to make sure that you're going in and getting that set up right and using it correctly. And it's not that hard. Yes, you're going to have to spend a few minutes taking care of it and doing it, but it will help you much more to interface much better with your businesses of all sizes and to, again, collect that first party information that you're looking for.
Yeah, very good. So, I know that we've kind of gotten into the weeds a little bit on this, but I think it's important. I think that it's, knowledge is power when it comes to things like that. And we just want to make sure that people are ready to go when it comes to their digital footprint. If they've been doing some marketing, whoever you've been doing your marketing with, talk to them about this. Gosh, make sure that they are up to speed on having you ready with your first party data when these changes come into effect. And now is certainly the time. Last year, we were talking about, hey, now's the time during this pandemic to get your website in order. Now's the time to get the, your social media world in order. Well, now we're saying, hey, now is the time to make sure you're collecting first party data. And here's some great ways to do it. So, if you have any questions, gosh, reach out to one of us and we'll be happy to help you kind of walk through some of the things that you can do, best practices to make sure you're in the best position moving forward.
Yep, exactly. And I know we've talked about doing some other programs in the community on it. So hopefully we can get some things scheduled as well, whether it's a webinar or face-to-face on it. And businesses don't think it's going to be too much work. It's going to be a little bit of work up front, but in the long run, you are going to really benefit. And it is something that you just have to do. It's like filing taxes, which are due Monday.
Very good. Well, let's talk with Darcy a little bit about some of the things that you've got going on. You've probably got an update for us on some of the grant programs that are going on as well.
I do, and a great segue into a few of the things I want to talk about is about those first-rate images. And if you're wanting to create your own, don't forget, we have those photo boxes that are available for use at no cost. You just have to reach out to us here at the center. And Chris has a couple down in her office as well. So you just have to get a hold of her and you can just borrow them and use them until you're done and bring them back. So a great way to get some really good images that you own. So as far as some of the grants that are going on, I just wanted to make note that we've had a couple of inquiries in the office here on the Shuttered Venue Operators Grant. Folks haven't heard yet and they're getting nervous. Actually, the awards won't be made till the end of May. So there's about another week or two before folks will start finding out about that. And it will be, award information will be sent to the email that you applied through the application. So just a heads up on that. And then late yesterday, I did get a press release from the SBA on the Restaurant Revitalization Fund. Applications are still being accepted. We strongly encourage you to get those in. That money is going to go quickly. In fact, there is $28.6 billion allocated to that fund. And they have already received more than 147,000 applications, totaling over 29 billion. So we know people aren't going to get their full awards that they're seeking, but that money is going to go really fast. To date, they've already awarded 2.7 billion of those funds, and that just opened up on May 3rd. And in those first rounds, of applications that have come in, 76,000 have been from women business owners, over 6,000 from veteran businesses, and then over 42,000 from those being kind of classified as economically and socially disadvantaged. That is the tier one. They will be reviewed first. I believe they have, I want to say it's like 22 days that those will be reviewed, and then it's first come, first served based off the applications received after that. So we're still getting calls here in the center with folks asking questions. Kimberly has got quite a few clients that she's been working with and assisting. I have several as well. So reach out to one of the two of us, and we can definitely do our best to help answer those questions so that you can get in the running for some of those relief funds. So also, I wanted just to let everyone know that our state SBDC office is going to be running a series of workshops starting on June 1st. They're all in the morning at 8:30. They are bringing in Tom Shea. He's with Profits Plus, and it's going to be a full month of discussing pricing and retail strategies. So as things are starting to get back to a semi-normal state, stores are struggling some with trying to figure out the financial ends of their businesses. And this would be a great time to reevaluate your pricing strategies, making sure that you're not leaving any money on the table when it comes to those kinds of things. So they're going to cover things like June 1st is pricing strategies. Then they're going to start in on stop giving away your profit. Then on June 15, they're going to talk about debt inventory. And then they wrap it up on June 22nd with strategies to increase your sales, turn inventory, and diminish markdowns. If you're interested, it is at no cost. You can go out to NCI SBDC on Facebook, and I've got it all out there on our site, or you can go to America's SBDC Iowa, I think is how it's listed on Facebook, and you can sign up through there as well. So, or you can also just reach out to the center and we can get you the information. But that'll be a really great workshop series for those retail businesses. So, and that's all I got this week.
That's very good. There's some good stuff in there, and we're excited to kind of hear about those classes and all those things that are going on with that as well. So
updates. I plan on sitting on it myself, so I'll make sure to give some updates on our Thursday time together. So
that's great.
Yeah.
So let's talk with Chris Patrick from Main Street Fort Dodge. Chris, always a lot going on over there, but you guys got a grant recently, and so we're excited that that grant's going to maybe help us keep a cleaner downtown.
Well, absolutely. This is the grant we received from the Iowa Arts Council called Arts Build Community. Jennifer Drinkwater participated with our committee. We had about 13 people on there. And what we did was we decided that the way to solve a civic problem, and our civic problem was recycling and refuse in the downtown. I'm sure we can all remember a few years back when you'd walk through the downtown, there'd be blowing garbage at different places. So we have created 26 beautifully artistic welded garbage cans. They're square. You'll be able to see them next week. We're going to install them on Tuesday. And this was a partnership with a lot of people, including the high school, Fort Dodge High School, industrial treks. I really want to shout out to Andy Kavanaugh for his great work and his students for welding and creating these trash receptacles. And then COVID happened. So instead of being able to just put those out there right away, we had to wait. And while we waited, we thought, it would be fun to really get another segment of the kiddos involved that are kind of bored at home. So we ran an art contest for the arrow design that's in there. So we are going to have these beautifully colored arrows done by, like I said, 26 students from K through 12 throughout the community. So you will see those beginning that installation next Tuesday. And again, Jim Hojak was the original designer of that container, and he's on our design team. So we're excited. This grant was for $10,000 and the total project cost was $40,000. So we were really able to leverage that money and hopefully make a really good impact and an artistic impact in the downtown. So
That's great. It sounds really easy, to put something like this together.
sure.
But when you start thinking about all the different hands that are in it, and you put out these trash receptacles, people fill them, and somebody has to empty them, and that's something that has to be thought of on the front end of this. So can you tell us a little bit about how this came together, and who's emptying these things, and what did that discussion look like?
Well, absolutely. So I'm going to back up to the very beginning. Once upon a time, Carissa Harvey, senior planner or strategic planner at the city of Fort Dodge, actually wrote this grant. And so the city will be emptying these garbage cans. So like I said, we have so many partners. It would probably take me 5 minutes to list them all. So we got those receptacles created and we're ready to install them. And then it's like, no, wait a second. We really need to think about the best places to install them. So then we pulled in Kevin and Doug from the city to walk through the downtown a couple times with us over the last 6 months to figure out where to put these. So maybe a snowplow doesn't run into them. What businesses really need to have trash receptacles outside of their business, and what others maybe really don't need that service as critically. So lots and lots of little details like that, Jed. And thank goodness there was a total team of about 22 people to work through these details, because there's no way I would have thought of all these little intricacies that we needed to work through. So huge community project. And again, thank you, Fort Dodge Community School System, Andy Kavanaugh, the city of Fort Dodge, our other partners, Amy Bruno, Shelley Bodor from the Fort Dodge Fine Arts, because the painted dumpsters that we do are part of this project also. So it just goes on and on.
Yeah. Now you're in trouble because you started mentioning folks.
I know it. So if I didn't mention your name, email me and I will apologize.
Well, so any other projects that you guys have going on? It's been kind of a busy spring so far. What else do we have looking forward to for Main Street Fort Dodge?
Sure. So our really beautiful planters, there's 17 of those big black planters in the downtown. That is a Main Street self-supporting municipal district project. Those will be planted over the weekend. So I can't wait to see what they will look like once they're done. Challenge Grant project with those 12 addresses is wrapping up. We have 2 awnings that need to be delivered yet. And then that project will finish out by June 9th. So that's our deadline. So that will be great. I was able to walk through our Challenge Grant project that's at 13 North 11th Street again yesterday. 2 beautiful high-end apartments just off the square in the downtown that will be ready to be rented here probably in the next week. So lots of those things behind the scenes, working on another facade project. Hopefully we can put an application together with the city of Fort Dodge and submit it to the state so we can get another 8 to 10 buildings stabilized and maintained in the downtown this coming year. Things like that. We also have our virtual business lab up and running on our website.
Mhm.
So I could, like I said, I could just keep talking, but I will stop.
So how
Very
much money has there been for improvements downtown in the last 4 years? I'd like to hear that again.
So thank you for that leading question, Cheryl. So we've had $5.5 million of private investment, and that is in building transition, building cells in the downtown since January of 2018. And on top of that, we've also had $6.5 million of rehabilitation of buildings in the downtown. So, you know, when you add those together, we're between 11 million and 12 million. I'm talking at millions. All these things are millions, whether I said thousands or not. Between 11 and 12 million dollars of investment in the downtown. And we've got about 8 projects in the works right now that are not part of that number. So we should be able to top that $13 million by the end of the year.
It's amazing. Great
Isn't
work.
that great? I mean, and that
Great
is
work.
people working together, Jed. It's all about teamwork.
That's fantastic. So, well, thanks everybody for today. Unless there was something that I missed, absolutely hop in and let me know. But we've talked for another hour this Thursday about all the great things going on in our community and opportunities that business owners have. So absolutely reach out if you have any questions or comments or ideas for upcoming shows. We definitely want to hear those as well. Join us next Thursday, 9 a.m., as we do every single week. We talk right here on the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page about all the things going on here in Fort Dodge. Thanks so much to Linda Klein joining us as our guest today, and also Kimberly Tiefenthaler, who sometimes joins us from America's SBDC, but sometimes we also get Darcy Swan. So thanks so much for joining us today, Darcy. Also, Chris Patrick, the Executive Director of Main Street Fort Dodge, and Cheryl O'Hearn, the digital marketing specialist of Spin Market Plus Digital. Of course, I'm Jed Burns, the market manager here for Alpha Media Fort Dodge. Thanks once again, and we'll talk to you again next Thursday right here at 9 a.m.